Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your market watch for the week. Everything you're going to need to know to trade and make money condensed for you into one short hour in which you can learn many things about the stock market. More importantly, what are the best stocks to look out for and how should I trade them? That's the question that we're going to answer. Welcome to all of you guys, to our loyal, wonderful following. I appreciate you all. Hello, Mr. Mike, the Sergeant. Agree with what he says. It's the girl in the world just trying to make it, get by. This is an exciting week. Why? Because last week we saw a little bit of a return to upside. That does not mean we are out of the water yet, but it does mean that there are some opportunities to look out for that didn't exist last week, but do exist now that we are going to explore. And definitely we're going to also play a wonderful game of Smash or Pass in which you guys give me the tickers to look at. We go through them and we find out which make the most sense for your portfolio, for your trading style. We find the trades that make sense to you. And if you bring them to us, we're going to tell you whether or not we think they make sense at all, which means if the chart's not setting up and things aren't looking good, I'm going to let you know so that you don't get beat to death holding a position that has no business taking up that precious real estate of your portfolio. As always, introduce yourself. If you're in the Discord already, just type your username, unless I know you already. If you're new, please type new. We always love having some new folks in here, and we like to give away some free stuff to those that join us and are new. So to get into it, we're going to go right into the chart here. We got some gold for us here. So we've got Tesla pulled up on the weekly view as always, or not as always, but as of recent, we have been really loving this stocks buddy indicator. It does everything you could ever want and more. Shows you the entry visually, shows you the exit visually, shows you bear or bull so you know which way to trade. But the coolest thing in my opinion is A, automatically adjusted stop loss so you don't ever miss out on profits, but B, this trend line feature, which is exceptional. If you've ever said I don't know where to draw a trend line, it already shows you exactly where to draw. You just trace along the line. Boom, here's the breakout. Just kidding, fake out, until finally the third try was a success and it did break out. So that puts you buying Tesla 172 before it runs up to almost $300. So easy, simple tool. If you want to access those, you that are in premium, you get access at a massive discount, pretty much half off for life. If you're new, we can get you hooked up, set up just right. So looking at Tesla here, we're going to look at Tesla, and then we're going to look at SPY, and then we're going to dive into one more I think is very interesting here, and then we're going to get into that smash or pass. So start thinking of those tickers right now that you want to look at so that you guys are fully present and accounted for, and we can actually cover some stuff that you guys want to see. That's my goal here. Just give me 1 second, and we'll get going. I just wanted to post this link right here. You'll share this out to everybody and get everybody in here, because I know that a lot of people get pissed. They say, I missed it. When did you go live? And it's like, man, just pay attention. Boom. Dun, 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 dun. How's everybody doing today? You guys making some money, losing some money, you struggling with trades, you liking it so far, you doing okay? Choppy market, pain in the ass. What? Tell me what's going on, how you feel. Feel free to do that in the chat. So let's dive into it. So Tesla here, we've got a very interesting setup boiling right here. We've got our stop loss stocks, but he's given us to us generously at about 234. If you ask me, it'll be about 240. As you know, I'm always in direct competition with this machine that's trying to take my job, but that's okay. So personally, I like this. If it breaks down below, give or take 243, I would call it 240 to keep it easy, keep it simple. That's kind of what I'm watching here. It's a perfect intersection of this range, which basically gives you this where we broke out before. So this would be our confirmation, right? We hold here. That's our confirmation. We're going to see more upside. Those of you that are new, we're basically just going to draw two lines on every chart, two horizontal lines. We're going to indicate the ceiling and then the floor, so that you guys can understand, okay, if price is on the floor, if there's a likelihood it goes to the ceiling, here's how far it goes up. So that way you can trade that whole move up. Easy peasy, nice and squeezy for you. So if you look here, again, for those of you that are more visual learners, notice that these are pretty equilateral when you think about it, right? The move up, 414 from 240. The move down, 102 from 240, right? So $140 move, little more than that, but nevertheless, you get the picture, right? So this is going to be our functional pivot point. This is basically the midsection, right? Like imagine you're walking a dog on a sidewalk, right? This is a great way to understand it. The dog is on a leash, right? And the dog's going left and then right and then left and then right. your dog is going to walk on that sidewalk left and right, always coming back across the center, right? Even if it goes to the left and then it comes back to the right, it's always got to cross the center. This is our center, and the price action is the dog on the leash, right? It goes to the upside. Eventually, it's going to come back and hit the center. Now, whether it goes to the other side or not is a different story, but it will always return to its center. It's called the reversion to the mean, which means it's going to basically find its widest. It's going to cast this net as wide as it can outward. Then it's going to return to its safety of its home right there, snug in the middle. So it's a good way to understand how to look at this stuff, read this stuff, and dig into this stuff in a way that's going to be meaningful to you. Because at the end of the day, if you can't use it, what's the point of doing any of this at all? This is incredibly useful for anyone that has a single dollar invested in the stock market. It's something you absolutely need to know. You need to teach your kids. You need to talk about with your friends. Otherwise, you're not going to move along. So for Tesla here, that's going to be it for me, 240 and up. If it doesn't stay above 240, I think it's going to come down considerably, maybe even below 200, at which point then it'll be an opportunity to buy again. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that the bulls are more than likely to win out here. And just to illustrate a point here, once again, stocks, buddy. So look at this trend line. It's already drawn for you right here. All you got to do is trace it out, right, from the highest take profit signal that's occurred. We're drawing across the top of these buyers, right? Big buyers, big push up. Big buyers, big push up. We draw across the top, and then we see where it intersects. And if you see here, that's how quality stocks, buddy, is. We're right against resistance right now. So what we're waiting for is for this to break right here. It didn't break today. If it breaks tomorrow, I'm going to go long, and I'm going to be aiming for at the very least 350 on this one in particular. I think this is going to be a huge trade if we break out. Now, to make this even simpler so you can understand courtesy stocks, buddy, I guess once again, you draw that support trend line. You just draw it right along the bottom here, right? Just trace that line that's already there. That way you know it's accurate, because this doesn't draw the line until it hits the confirmation anyway. We're close. Oh, that's two different lines. That's why it's a little wonky. There we go. So right here is your intersection, and two things will occur from here, right? We break out. Let me get that little paintbrush. We break out from here, right? And we could bounce along this trend line, head to the upside. That's great. That's scenario one. Or we can fail that test and then continue to the downside, descending support, right? We just don't want to see it go below that line. So ideally, if we don't break out and hold, we're just going to come down and consolidate for a little while off of this support, maybe test again until we inevitably test that resistance right there. Again, support becomes resistance if the trend continues, or whether the trend continues or not. If the trend reverses, then that support becomes resistance, right? So what was the floor was our bottom dollar becomes our ceiling, top dollar, right? This is just understanding patterns, guys. It's very, very simple. If you can understand patterns, if you can read through this or just draw it visually and understand that all this are simple patterns played out over and over again, you'll be very good at this, at least on the technical side. So we've got another thing we want to look at, which is RSI, right? That's an indicator. It's a lagging indicator. It means after the fact, but still useful. What we want to see, just so much as we do on the price action, we want to understand where is RSI topped out in the past. So RSI has been topping out right where I drew this green line was at about 54 or so. So this is cool because now we know, okay, that's where the price topped out right about 300, 304. RSI was hitting its head at 50, came down. Now it broke to the top side, right? Which means buyers are more in demand. There's more demand in the momentum, right? So buyers have a little more strength. That's a great sign. So if buyers can continue strength to the upside, we're going to go to the upside. If they don't, we won't. So should we break out and then confirm the support test? So here's what we're going to be watching for as far as the move. We want to see this breakout, and then we want to see this support test. We're going to buy on this confirmation. So we want to buy on that confirmation right there. That's when we buy. That's when we go long, not a second sooner, not a second later. So that's Tesla. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think we're at a decision point in which it's either going to pop or it's going to burst, and that would mean downside. We don't want that. Once again, start thinking of the tickers you want to cover and smash or pass. All I ask is that you only post one per comment. Post as many as you'd like. It just allows me to put it up on the chart so everyone knows what we're talking about. So that's Tesla. Now let's get into the SPY, the S and Pringle here. We're on the weekly chart. Let's go to the hourly and see where momentum is, right? So today we saw more upside again. We pushed as high as just below our resistance, 431. Today we pushed to a new high. That's a good sign because we went long on those SPY calls. Yay, us, we're the best. We did have sellers coming in at the end of the session yesterday and today. But as long as we stay above 431, we're going to go long for 441, which means you want to be looking at calls at least 3 weeks out. I would look for early November. I can pull up the options chain so that we can look at them together, but I would say calls early November, our strike being 438 to 439. I think that would make the most sense in my opinion, because we want to make sure that we are not taking too much risk on those, that we are not adding a strike that's too far out of the money. We want to add something that's definitely going to hit in the money, because those will become valuable a lot more quickly. So looking at the options chain here, I would say that November 3rd looks pretty good. Let's see if there's a volume. We went like 438. So I'm liking that. I'm liking that. You can create a spread. So we're looking at what did I say? What exact date? So right there, I'm looking at that 438 call, 11/3 expiration. It's around $500. I would say hedge it by selling the 440. That puts you at a cost basis of merely $75. So that means you can take a $75 trade that I think is pretty prime to move. The delta looks good. The open interest looks good. It's getting some volume. So all of those characteristics have been met. I do really like this as long as we are trading above 432, right? Or 431.90. So keep that in mind. If we don't hold 431 and change, we are going to come back down to 429. You don't want to sit there holding these. There's no point. Just dump them, right? Cut your loss early and move on. As long as we hold above this 431 and change, we are statistically inclined to head back to the 440s. So from an odds and ratios perspective, right? We want to take the best trades that we can think of that have the highest probability of success. In my opinion, should we hold above 431 and change, we're going to head back to, at the very least, 438, which is why we're buying 438, not 440. We're going to head back to 438. More than likely, we'll test resistance at 441. The reason you need to buy them 3 weeks out is because this thing might take a few days to move. So if we look at it in the past, though, here's the cool part. We go back in time. Okay, here's the last time it broke into this range. So it breaks out over 431. It took 4 days for it to hit 441. So we're giving ourselves more than enough time. And then it came down, and then 4 days to hit it again. So same move, right? Could have traded this twice, swung it for a few 100% and cashed out fat and happy. So that's what we're watching here on the SPY. I think that trade is going to absolutely hit. Levi, we got a new one. Ring, ding, 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 ding. What's up, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to actually be giving away a free 30-day membership right now to you because I like you and you look like you're young and you're willing to learn. So let's do it. So Levi, if you wouldn't be so kind, Nikki, can you post a link for this guy? We're gonna give this gentleman a nice 30-day test drive. See how he's doing there. Hey there, Pukalakalypse. So Levi, make sure you hang around. If you want to actually, Levi, if you just want to drop your email in the chat, and I'll have somebody reach out and send you the info completely free, no strings attached. Try it out, see if you like it. Join the community, dude. Get into the education. We built a wonderful 6-week program that teaches you everything from start to finish. We have moderators, guides, veteran traders in there that will help you on a one-on-one basis to answer your direct questions as you have them. We also publish some trade alerts like you just saw on the SPY that'll give you some direction to take some smart trades that'll pay off in the end. So feel free to drop your email and you'll get that, or go to the Discord and create a sport ticket. It's all yours, baby. Welcome to the stream. Takak says, way to go, Levi. Welcome home. So that's a SPY trade I really like there. To me, it makes the most sense. So we're going to be looking for a move over 4 to 6 days to the upside. That's why we gave ourselves enough time in the expiration. We should hit 441, cash out, and you guys should make some money there. I'm going to, Mike, remind me to post that in the options day trader options chat tomorrow, just for everybody that wasn't able to make it. So that's what I like on the SPY. I think SPY is really simple here, right? So descending resistance right along the top here. We're struggling to break it, break, and then we had a big boom. We broke that. We're done and done. I think we are heading to a little more upside here, especially if we can reclaim this 431 and change. That critical area has to hold. Again, we need this to maintain as the floor so that we can climb the stairs to the ceiling, right? That's all we're looking for, is for a base to build so that we can stair step up to the ceiling, right? Until we bump our heads again. So here's the thing. We're buying down here. We're selling up here. Simple as that. Jordan Belfort told you buy low, sell high. It is that simple. And then the beauty of that is when we get to that point, we can then, if we're going to hit our heads on resistance, trade the downside in case we go back down. Or even better, we trade this all the way up. We take profit, right? And then it breaks out again on that support test. We buy again, and then we trade all the way up to the next range, which I think will be about 450. I think this is going to climb in basically $10 increments as long as it maintains each of those supports as indicated here. Please feel free to screenshot this so that you have this saved and can refer back to it, or just save the video. I think you can do that on YouTube. Just make sure you bookmark this video or add it to a playlist so that you can refer back to this in the moment, right? Especially tomorrow morning when you're trading this. Make sure you have this video locked and loaded so that you can trade it the right way, because I just gave you the secret sauce. I gave you the profitable trade. I'm basically handing you the money. It's only up to you to drop the bag, so don't do that. So that's the SPY. Quick one on NVIDIA, and then I have one more we're going to look at. Let me also pull that screener right here, because I think there was one that popped that I really thought was interesting on the bullish engulfing. That's the weirdest chart I've ever seen. I have to pull this up. Look how wild this is. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? It's iShares floating rate bond fund. Upsies and downsies, just like with my daughter when I do upsies and downsies when I scratch her back. That's basically what this is. So anyway, back to NVIDIA, the thing that matters. So we got NVIDIA pulled up here. Our good friend Stocks Buddies is giving us the assist, even though it's making it a little messy. It's okay. We're on the hourly chart here just to get an idea of trend and momentum. So NVIDIA has been playing pretty tightly in these two ranges, right? 430 to about 440, and then again from the bottom, 413 to about 424. So it's been playing in these little $10 ranges, right? Now here's a cool thing that I wanted to show you guys that I think will very much so benefit you. This is how you trade and make money at this long term. NVIDIA moves $10. Pookie, don't ask me those questions. I have it on beginner because I figured that's what everyone's going to see from the beginning. Advanced. Oh, advanced. No, just kidding. So here's a very, very simple strategy that you can use to trade immediately, even if you don't know what you're doing. You simply take these horizontal lines and you find where we find the top and where we find the bottom. And then, oh, you could do an emoji. Hey, cool. Hey there. Hey, guy. I need the one that calculates the price range. Yeah. Okay. There's one. This makes trading so easy. It's almost as if it does it for you. Look how simple this is, guys. So simple, you could do it yourself. Okay. Look at how simple this is. Oh, it goes behind the chart. That's awesome. Oh my God, that's awesome. Too big. Tilt. Okay, we'll put that guy right here. I like that guy. I like that guy. Okay, so look how simple this is. This will blow your mind. Okay, we're on the hourly view here, right? So we want to know kind of intraday, whatnot, what's happening. So this is so simple. 3% move, 3.4% move, 4.5% move, 3.4% move, 3.05% move. Whoa, it moves 3% up and down here, moves 3.4% up and down here and here. It moves 4.5% up and down here. Oh, wow. So, Austin, are you telling me that that means if we come back down to here, that it's just as likely to move 3% down as it is to move 3% up, and that I can take an easy to spot trade, that I can calculate my risk ahead of time and know exactly what to do so that I don't lose money? Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. It's that simple. Can you believe it? Because it is. It's not a gimmick. It's not a game. You throw something like Stocks Buddy on there, look at what it's telling you. Whoa, same thing. It does it all for you. It's a beautiful thing, right? But you can use this, you could do it yourself. All these are just tools that are all kind of, it's all about how the information is communicated, right? Look at that. We talked about earlier in the Discord, right? Like simple communications about taking profit and whatnot were big issues, right? They became problems for people because they weren't clearly able to understand. They weren't able to understand exactly what was happening because it wasn't communicated to them, right? Like all we do is communicate in a more effective manner. Boom, problem solved. Everybody wins. I like to look at opportunity cost and think about the small amount of effort that it takes to do something. Oh my God, there we go. I like to think about how it takes such a small, I look at the opportunity cost in everything. If something takes me a minuscule amount of effort, but has a big reward or a huge potential cost, I'll always do that little thing, right? So communicating with people, something I think I do pretty well because my focus is on being understood rather than trying, or my focus is on making sure that I can understand them and that I am understood by them. Not because I want to be understood for my own selfish reasons, which I do, right? But so that I can solve the problem or at least begin that process of solving the problem that they have. Because otherwise, what's the point of any of this, right? When we look at charts like we just looked at, right? The biggest problem with traders is that they don't understand what they're doing enough so to stop doing it or to change that strategy, right? Because it's like you're jumping into, you're on season 5, episode 2. Everyone else started on season 1. Allison brings this up all the time. You're just jumping in late season. You have no idea who any of these characters are or what they're going through. You don't know how any of this works, right? What we really need is a way to understand these things in simple terms where we understand both the effort required and the cost of not giving that effort. And I think in trading, focusing on the cost of not giving that effort is instrumental. So when we look at charts like this, they have these very simple patterns that all we have to do is map out to know, okay, it's going to move 3% here. It's going to move 5% here. It's easy to see, right? You can trade options with it. You can do a million different things. With that, you only arrive with a certain level of self-honesty, right? Like we have to understand enough to know, okay, it's going to move in these ranges and that I am going to be inclined to chase this outside of that range. So let's say on the sell-off, right? We see it down here below 443 and we're like, I'm going to buy it just in case, right? Well, that time you were right. And it came back and it moved to the upside and you got your 3% move to the upside. But the second time, let's say you bought right here and you're like, you know what? It'll go back up 3%, even though it's below the range that we just talked about. So you were in the wrong trade. Below this line, you're trading puts to 430, not calls to 460. That's crazy. Because you weren't honest enough with yourself to know that you're chasing because you're dealing with something other than that in your life, right? So we have to know exactly what we're going on. My goal is to teach you how to think like a trader. That's what the best thing we can offer you is here are the tools we use and here's how to think like a trader. Because most people come in and they don't want to adapt the mindset. They just want to use the tools, right? Imagine me going to a construction site and just starting to mess around with all the heavy, expensive equipment they have. I would hurt myself or someone else or destroy the whole job site. because I don't know how to use the tools. You need the education, the mindset, the training before you even dick around with the tools, right? Before you get into any markets, you need to understand what they are and how they work. If you don't, then you are just throwing good money after bad. As Tagman used to say, if my money's on fire, why would I try to use another 20 bill to put it out? If I have $1,000 on fire in front of me, am I going to use another stack of 20s to try and push it out? No. But if you don't understand how these markets work and you don't understand how to operate within them, if you don't know the rules, right? You don't know how you can go, how low you can go. It's the same thing with the market, right? I've always said like trading in macro, I think is life and micro. It's the little things in life that affect in big ways the way we interact with the market and engage. And it's those little things that rob you of your profit and destroy your identity when it comes to who I am as an investor, trader, father. It goes way deeper than that, but we don't need to go there. My point is, if you can understand these simple concepts and simple ranges, you're going to do very well. But in order to understand them, you have to adopt a different mindset than you came in here with. That's the biggest problem. People aren't willing to adopt the mindset. They won't change themselves. They want the tools to change for them. Here's a little snippet for you. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So this is what NVIDIA is trading in this range. So we can take this trade over and over again. We take it here, we trade the downside, right? We take it here, we trade the downside. Great, perfect trade. We take it here, we trade the downside again. Perfect trade. We buy here, we trade the upside. Nope, just kidding. But we sell, right? We close out because we know it broke down. We don't lose a ton of money. We shouldn't, in theory, lose much at all if you're breaking even, right? And then we trade the downside. We were right big time. That's a win, right? So if we follow this formula, there's one win. There's one win if it's over 2 days, right? So you won here. Now you win here. You pretty much win there for the most part. No trade there. And then we win again here. And then we buy long, right? Once it breaks up right here, we've won again. And then it breaks up here. We trade long. We won again. We break below. We trade puts. We won again. We trade here. We win again. Breaks up. We lost. Then we trade the breakout again. So win, lose, win. And then we trade to the downside once we hit it. Oh, we didn't hit it, so it's no trade. And then we buy the bottom again, and we're winning. We didn't win yet, but we're winning, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successful winning trades that were easy to identify, so much so that any idiot like myself could get it. That all occurred within a 1 month span on the same stock, trading between 1, 2, 3 different ranges. You can take one stock and trade it 10 different ways all the same time. That's how simple this is. Then you use something like Stocks Buddy. It makes it even easier. It tells you exactly when the bull and bear entries are. It tells you when to take profit. Tells you where your stop loss should be. It does all that for you. So either way, if you can adopt the appropriate mindset of knowing, okay, below here, it's no good or it's a different trade. Above here, it's good or it's a different trade. And then take that appropriate trade, buy on the floor, sell at the ceiling, you'll win every time. You'll make a ton of money here. So this NVIDIA trade's interesting because we've mapped out exactly what has happened, right? So now we need to look at what could happen in the future. Does anybody know, is there a quick and easy way to just clear all these drawings, or do I have to just highlight them all? It doesn't matter. Shrinking this boy down here a little bit. Where's our next range? Oh, yep, there she blows. And ironically, just about a $20 move to the upside. So if you'll notice, these are expanding as they go up, right? So we hit certain price levels, volatility will expand, right? Which means there's more wiggle room to go up and down. Put that guy right there. Hey, guy. I see you, guy. Don't worry. Let's tilt you just a little bit, make it a little more fun. So this is going to be our next range here. So let's do it, man. Let's figure it out. So it gives us 4.5%. Boom. How beautiful is that? So that means for our next trade, if you will, once we get the breakout confirmed, We have a nice $20 move to trade on NVIDIA. Here's the fun part. If it doesn't and it gets rejected right here, we have a delightful $10 trade, $10 move. We could trade to the downside. So it breaks above and it stays, basically gives you confirmation of support, or just turn on stocks, buddy, if you want it to be easy. But if you do, I would definitely go to the daily chart. Sorry. 4 hours decent too. But this is the daily chart, right? And then you turn Stocks Buddy on, makes it easy. So the Stocks Buddy entry was perfect scoop of that bottom. I mean, this thing nailed it at 412 or so. Also nailed this one down here, 406, before it ran to 500. So there's that. And just to show you, just to illustrate, if you go to the monthly, had you been using this, you would have gotten your bull entry at 131, which is ironically, I wasn't using this then. I did it on my own, but that was the same entry as mine. No, bullshit. That was the same entry as mine. Go back and look. Those options trades, NVIDIA was trading at right about 130 at that time. So you can go ahead and suck it because that's not true. I wish I had this because then I would have felt a lot more confident about it if I was confident enough to take the trade. Anyway, so the monthly view is what I would definitely use. That's your best bet, in my opinion, for long-term visibility. But here's the thing. You go to each time frame. So that's the monthly view. Okay, cool. Let's look at the weekly view. What's it saying? Okay, well, it's saying bull 2. Okay, great. That's cool. Now we know, but it's got a stop loss at about 430. Okay, cool. Then we go to the daily view. It's going to be slightly different, right? So your risk goes up. As you go to the smaller time frames, your risk is going to go up on the trade, right? The bigger time frames are going to be correct more of the time than the smaller ones. So to give you a bigger picture, right? They give you a better example. So looking at this NVIDIA trade, let's map out our trade, right? We break out here. If we're able to break 460, okay, let's draw her out. Let's do the brush. I don't see the settings for the brush, whatever. But we push up, we get confirmation right here, right? Then we trade this move to the upside for the 480, right? So for instance, we take 480 calls, or we do like 475, be smarter. Buy the 475, sell the 480, create a spread. As long as it's above 460, we're golden, right? And by opening a spread, we could take it a year out, right? That's the beauty of spreads. So even if we were looking at a long-term NVIDIA trade, right? Like let's just look at January 2025. And we did like say, because those are 3,800 a piece. Let's say we did the long 460 as we're talking about, or 480, sorry. That's $2,200. We got long 480 and short 485. That costs us $200. Take that trade to the upside for NVIDIA, right? $200. That's what it cost would be to take that bet. $200, boom, to the upside. It moves $20. You're going to make a ton of money, a ton. Which is a beautiful thing. Which tells you, right? Like if we look at what delta is, if it moves $20, then okay, 0.4 times 20. What's that? Anybody? What's 0.4 times 20? No, the answer is 8. Jeez, come on. Anyway, that means that contract should increase $8 in value, which in options is times 100, right? So you should make about $800 on the upside. So that's the beauty of this, using this strategy like this, and then obviously implementing a tool like Stocks Buddy, which Poogie, if you could drop that link just in case everybody wants it. If you're already a premium member, though, just actually, no, we can't share that link openly. So just message me or Pookie on Discord, and we will get you the link with the built-in discount because you're already a premium member. No problem. No worries. Or create a support ticket. That's the easiest way. Sorry. Yeah, it is 8. So that's going to be the NVIDIA trade. I think it's a very simple trade that we can easily map out. I don't think it's going to be a big problem at all because we're able to know exactly what the typical range is that it likes to trade in. And knowledge is power. If we know the range it's going to trade in, then we're able to plan ahead of time for both upside and downside. That's the beauty of this. If we're not planning for the downside, then we're absolutely screwed. I really think that that's that. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do for NVIDIA. And I think it's going to be a nice little trade. And I think we're going to make some good money. But look at how simple that is. We find these little ranges. We know exactly how much they move. Look at how it works every time, right? 4.5%, 3%, 3.4. You could trade either way. You don't have to know anything at all. Just use Stocks Buddy and then isolate these ranges. You know exactly where it's going to go. Or it tells you take profits. So either way, you win. So yeah, that's a good deal, and I think NVIDIA is worth taking a little peeksy poo at. I think that's it's gonna be an interesting deal. Let me go to my screener here. Ooh, is that Dell? Pull this one up. Oh, this one's very interesting. Oh, look at this. And I love this. I hate these guys. Like, I hate these payment processors. Like, they are inflation in and of themselves. But they're just a nightmare, but worth looking at. So we've got really no, we've got really no, look at that. So right now we're trading below resistance. This is basically hanging on by a thread. This is one of the recent IPOs that I think is worth looking at. I think this company is kind of prime time to explode. It does actually look like we might be starting to get a reversal here. I mean, we're entirely too far oversold. We have some RSI right here. We've talked about this a million times, right? Let me minimize this. So right here, lower low. RSI was about 34 or so. Lower low in price, right? RSI dipped 26, but we're not even as low, right? RSI went too far the other way. So I think we're going to see a little relief here. And if you look, this looks to be about where people are going to start, in my opinion, buying the bottom. It happened here. It happened here, here even. Now there's the possibility of going lower. Looks like some big sellers to the upside taking this short. I don't know what the short interest is. I got to take a quick look. 100% earnings per share this year. Shares outstanding 353 million. 10% short, so not crazy. But average target price, I believe, is about $30 from analysts. So this is one that I got to take a look at the options. Chisang, we got to see what they got going on. But I think that this is one a good buy I think this is a good long-term deal here, in my opinion. While their options are so cheap, oh my God. You could buy 2025 calls for like $1.55. Those would absolutely explode if this thing doubled in price. Look at that. It's gone on explosive moves from here to the upside of 25 plus. Even the 25s, there's not a lot of volume on them today, but the open interest is good. Even the 25s, applied volatility is 53, so low, I'll take it. I'm going to map this trade out for all of you guys in premium on the Discord. This will be a great trade, I think. Yeah, but I think this is going to be an absolute banger. The only problem is we do still have downside risk in given kind of the nature of the market right now. We would need to see buyers stepping in. But then again, I also want to say trust the screener, man. I put a lot of effort into building these bad boys, and it doesn't often do me wrong. Let me back test. Let me look. Most of them are green. The other one, there's 2 that sold off to 3%, but on the whole, green if we go back 1 month. Oh, yeah, this thing's crushing. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. One other tech name that we're going to talk about a little bit, TTD, the trade desk. Look at that consolidation. See what the buddy has to say. Let's go on the weekly. See what our buddy has to say. Of course, he's saying it's bull right here. Looks like it's about to break out if you look at it, but let's use the buddy one more time. Just trace that trend line, know exactly what's going on. Now we know exactly where it needs to break out. God, this thing is ridiculous, dude. So if you didn't know how to draw a trend line, you do now, right? You just draw it, you just trace. Like, can you trace in color? That's why I was saying to people, like, if you graduated elementary school, you can use this to make money. I like this little wedgie wedge right here, and I like this support base 76. Clean top of range right here. We've boomed from here in the past to 115. I think this one's absolutely going to break out and boom. RSI is looking delightful. Look at that nice little bounce there. 52 said, I ain't going oversold, man. Buyers like me, and I like hanging out with them. Also, one thing of note, look at this. Let's highlight. Let's highlight something here. Hey, let's highlight. Let's highlight something here, okay? Let's get in there. Let's get in there and highlight, okay? Let's take a look at that volume, huh? Does that sound good? Let's do it. Here we are. Big day, big day, big day, big day, big day. What is all this volume? It just looks delightful, doesn't it? Look at it on the whole. It looks like a delight. Know what I'm saying? What does this scream to you? It's a long word. It starts with an A and it ends with shun. What word does this remind you of? Starts with an A, ends with shun. It's a long word. 12-letter word. Institutions do it. Yes, just answer it for God's sake. Answer the question. That's 11 and incorrect. Bing, bing, bing. My star student has shown himself a snowflake. That is it, accumulation. At least I can't say for certain, but sure as hell looks like it to me. So I think this one is going to be a nice little trade skipoo that I'll post in the Discord as soon as we log off here for all of you delightful premium members. I just want a taste of that sweet trade. In the past, we've had a nice little break, 84, 93. I think there's some equity swing opportunity here I really like. But more importantly, we've had like a nice upward consolidation. Look at that. As long as we break, decision. We don't want to see this cascade down and then find more consolidation, which is going to be probably around 57. So we're either going to buy this breakout or we're going to wait and we're going to start racking them up. And you can do that. That sounds like a whole thing. And I don't even know how to do that. I don't know where to do that. I don't want to do that. It sounds exhausting. I'll just assume it's accumulation and operate on not enough information. Or you could check if you really care about. I'm going to gaslight you into checking those. So that is another one I'm very interested in that I think is quite a delightful setup, I would say. Keep this on watch. Definitely. A decision point is coming. So, all right, let's go ahead. Ooh, breaking news. Rivian. Go ahead and drop your tickers for the smash or pass. I'd like to know exactly what charts you want to look at. We will go through them right now. I will go through them for you, give you a quick comment, quick analysis in 2 minutes or like really 30 seconds or less, just to make sure that you get the insight that you need so that you can take the trade that makes sense to you. Oh, this drop? So it wasn't breaking news per se. I guess I misrepresented that. But it is what it is. 30% drop. Wow. That's tough. Buyers are trying to come in. I think this will be a very interesting. While BlackRock bought that much JetBlue, that's crazy. All right, let's get into it. Smash or pass, baby. All right, Pepsi, first one up. Pepsi Cola, I believe that is. Yeah, PepsiCo. PepsiCo stocks, but he's saying no. But my body is telling me yeah. Yeah, I'll just tell you right now that that's going to be a hard pass. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. It does not want to go to the upside. It just wants more down. It craves it. I would watch 157. I would watch one. Ooh, actually scoot that on down. I could see 147 imminent. I don't know what is going on here, but it does not look good. Tell you right now, pass. It's definitely it's the X that smashes your windows and keys your car, pops your tires. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of us, and it happens. We could see a little bit of a retrace here, but for now, I'd say stay away and better start praying because this one does not look good. So that's going to be a hard pass. Let's look number 2, Cloudy Farms. What's up, baby? Let's get into the amazing Slamazon. Let's see what's going on. Jeff Bezos' fun house here. 103. Let's see. So that's a fun one. Let's see what Mr. Stocks buddy said. I am in agreement. This is a frightful event. So that right there is what I would watch. This is definitely a no long scenario right now. We're trading in purgatory. Remember, we don't ever want to buy in purgatory. There's not enough upside or downside in the world to justify that decision. We're definitely going to probably head back to 116 or so. It does like to boom from that range, but just so much as it likes to dump. So pump, dump, run. Ideally, though, Amazon will see upside through the holiday season. It just isn't going to happen right now. So I'm gonna give that one a pass. That's a hey, go take care of yourself, and then give me a call when you're feeling a little more stable, and we'll have a chat. But I'm gonna give that a pass right now, just because it ain't looking good. So remember, this smash or pass. There's like 20 some of you here. As always, hit the like on the video. We appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the live trading. By the way. And we have some little perks and features that the subscribers only get on YouTube. So make sure you click that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Let us know how we're doing in the comments. If there's something you'd like to see in this stream, those comments are the place to leave it. Especially after the video is posted, just leave them all in the comments and let us know, and we'll include it, incorporate it if it makes sense. Next up, WW, which I've done this one before. Very interesting. Oh, look at that round bottom, that round baby bottom. Look at that. That's that booty cheek clapping. Goodness, look at that. That's a nice round bottom. I love me a nice. Ooh, my friend Neil over at Benzinga used to always talk about that round double bottom. He always wanted to see a very round double bottom. That was his preference of choice. My God, this setup is glorious. Look at that. Oh, what a delight. I don't even know what this company is. I don't know what WW is. What's WW International? Is that the World Wrestling stuff? Is that the new, what they call like the WWE or whatever? Is that what this is? Am I crazy? Weight Watchers. Oh my God. Looks like people are trying to get thin again. First of all, look at that buying. That is unbelievable. Who did that? That's massive buying. Huge price target upgrades, but they're just about where it is right now. Full spectrum actus to weight loss. Okay. Target slash from like 40 to 30, but that's still a lot of upside. But just on the whole, I'd say these double bottom scoopers are looking quite delightful there. And we did confirm that double bottom by pretty much maintaining price, right? Came from incredibly oversold. Let's look at what's happened in the past. The RSI would break up here. We broke right about here. So we could shoot to 20. What? This is on the weekly. That's madness. Yeah, that's a great trade right there. Pookie, you crushed that. And I think there's more on the table. I think you got your continuation from right there. I would aim for, honestly, these gaps right around 25, 27. That seems to be the sweet spot. First one be 16, then 25. That's a huge opportunity trade you could take right about here. It's extremely low cost, low risk. That one could be an absolute banger. Oh my God. Dude, it's so hot. That one's getting a hard smash. Oh my God. That's such a good setup. That got me riled up. That got me riled up. That is good. God, I got a few to cover. I need to make a list. So, Mike, the other one I said, and then this one too. We got sauce. This is a good one to sauce up. Let's take a quick look at Hood, Amazon, or not Hood. I said Amazon, Robinhood. Finally, I think we are building the base here. We did go oversold. We are getting a little diggity divergence. No, that's lower and that's lower. So no, it's not. Never mind. But no, price confirmation from ear to here would tell us that it is. So good. Okay, look, this is our midline. We're doing it right now. This is like right about where it is. We need to, same thing I told you before, we need to break above 10, 15, 10, 30. And then we have the upside here. Every time we broke this, look, we boomed to 1257, 1257, 1257. If we stay below here, then we're going to find more downside to like the low eights. We don't want that to happen, at which point I might consider cutting this out. This is the opportunity to build a position if you are in it. This is a long-term options trade dated for 2025, so you have over a year left on those. This would be the opportunity to levy in, but volume is slowing down a little, so we're going to have to break over 1015, and then we're going to be, well, that's a smaller range, not as much upside. Let's see what the buddy has to say. Boop. Buddy says bull on the daily. Thanks there, friend. Weekly says bear. So the weekly's got that $10 mark, just like I do, ready to rock. So that's got to break, and then there's tons of upside. I think we go to 11, 12, and then we could climb from there. So I'd keep that on close watch. I'm going to say it's difficult. New position, I would wait for the confirmation, but we're already in it, and we're just building for that 1 year juice. So we're gonna roll with it for right now. Thanks, Levi. Bada bing. What's up, baby? Make sure you get that access, my friend. It's free. It's like $100 a month. We're giving it to you for free. Make sure you get on in there. I want to make sure you get full access. You walk through the trading education course. You got the support. You get everything you need to get on the right foot and be profitable, my friend. That's the goal. It's to build an army of profitable traders. An army. All right. Boing. Ooh, Stocks Buddy gave it a no-go on the weekly, but on the daily, it gives it the same thing. That's rough, but I would tend to agree. It does look like you are going to get some reversal juice here, but I still think that there's more potential downside. 172. It is really oversold, though. Look at that cascade selling. That's kind of crazy. Let's map that just to understand. This is going to be the real test, but you can also look at this right there as a break. Now this is the wedge that it'll trade in. The only problem with these kind of setups is that there's the high likelihood that it struggles and continues down to like, this is a no-brainer buy here, 172 in my opinion, but it'll probably consolidate until it finally breaks, and then you'll get a nice boom, probably to fill this gap, 300. I think that as long as the market holds up, I think that's realistic because of that climb we saw again back in 2017. It held up there through COVID, sold off during COVID, climbed as high as about 280 again. Like Boeing likes to move and likes to move hard. So I would keep this one on a tight leash. But I think realistically, these are your two options. It either continues to cascade down, support, top of this range, right? So this used to be resistance. Now it's become support. Find support 170s, and then that's the opportunity to go long to the upside. And I think we'll go from there. One more, VZ. It's perfect. So I was just about to wrap this up. Verizon Communications. Oh, God. I'm not really into the telecoms now, but that I do like that little candle boy right there. Let's look at the weekly. So I would wait until this engulfs a little bit. You want to see it eat this candle. So you want to see it trading like up to 33. Looks like it has been bought up from here before. You just got to look for the big buying, and it did occur here. That's good. Big buying there. Big buying the other day. That's good. That indicates strength. I would take a look at the institutional readout, see if people are buying this. But right now, I'm just going to tell you off the bat, this is one I'm gonna definitely pass. Just not my flavor. Verizon's gonna be passed. Just not my flavor, man. It's just not right now. So that's that. But that WW, baby, that is something else. No Wayfair. God, they made out stupid on that IPO. I cannot believe this thing boomed to $100 a share. And then COVID, it moved. Wow, that was a quick overnight. And then 12 to 39. So 300% upside on this round baby bottom there. I think this is an incredible setup to pay attention to. Pookie found a Jim or Jay or whoever. My buddy Neil at Benzinga, he was always about that round bottom setup. He loved to draw those two big cheeks to be clapped. And I think he's pretty spot on in that, because this is a nice, look at the roundness of those bottoms. That's a delightful setup. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. At the very least, I think that's very possible. So that signals 229% potential upside there. Madness. Shit, part of me wants to like just margin into this bad boy because the setup's so good. Risk a couple grand. You don't get setups like this. Below 934, so you could lose $2 a share. It's not nothing. Okay, let's be more realistic here. Like, that's definitely possible by all means, but I'd say testing the top of this range is probably the next move. It's going to struggle here at 13, so it's going to struggle here. So you still got 30% from here if it continues upward, and it looks like 1761 was number 2. So let's kind of just walk through this. So struggle there. And then that phase 2 be the bottom of this range. Oops. And then your phase 3. So there's tons of upside potential here. Yeah. Levi coming correct with one. Rolls Royce? No, I'm happy to help it. Recharge Resources or Rolls Royce? How do you even pull up Rolls-Royce? Is this appropriate? Rolls-Royce Holdings. On the LSE in Canada. You can look at it on the German exchange, but I'd say we could look. Because I know this is the US version, right? The OTC. Are you asking about the let's just go to the Canadian holdings. Hey Levi, how did you find us? If you don't mind me asking, my friend. How did you stumble upon this? Is it just on YouTube, like suggested? All right, so on this one in particular, like this is really your critical area to watch. So you've got this zone right here, right? So like 178 looks like it was support before people loaded the boat. Pretty decent little consolidation zone. If you see it consolidate like this above 172, it's a good sign. It means there's probably upside coming, right? If you see it flush through this zone like it did right here, that's no good, right? So right now it's climbing quickly. If it breaks above right here, so if you can get a break, right now it got rejected, right? You don't want to see that. You want to see it hold above. So what that looks like is you want to see that breakout, and this is all stuff you'll learn. Is the breakout is this, the consolidation or confirmation is this. It's when price comes back down, we want to make sure that it tests support and holds up. So you would be buying that confirmation, not the breakout, if that makes sense. That's the risk there. But as far as holding this, I think right now you got to get above that 220s if you want to see more upside. Otherwise, we're probably going to come down a little bit. It looks like 145 is the next place to consolidate. So keep that in mind, that if you're willing to hold through that downside, then you go for it. I'm not too keen on Rolls-Royce as a company. And I mean, I'm assuming luxury goods are all going to perform because the rich are just getting richer and the poor are just getting poorer. So I do think that there is a good chance that this company will continue to see success just because, rich people are going to continue to buy Rolls Royces, and those rich people are going to continue to get more rich than they were before. So why not buy more Rolls Royces while they're at it? I hope that answers your question. All right. I love y'all. Stay blessed now. Bye-bye.